The Galactic Empire had conquered hundreds of worlds. No one had ever resisted them. When they set their sights on Earth, they sent their deadliest assassins, silent killers, trained to eliminate leaders before a planet even knew it was under attack. Late at night, a sleek black ship entered Earth's atmosphere, invisible to human radar. Inside, 6 assassins stood in silence. Their mission was simple: eliminate Earth's top leaders, weaken their defenses, and prepare the planet for invasion. They moved like ghosts, slipping into the city undetected. Their suits bent light, making them almost invisible. Their weapons could cut through steel without a sound. The humans would never see them coming. Or so they thought. As the assassins neared their first target, a high-ranking official sleeping in his heavily guarded mansion, something changed. One of them stopped, sensing movement in the darkness. A shadow flickered across the rooftops. Was it the wind? A trick of the mind before he could react? Cold steel touched his throat. A flash of silver. A whisper of death. The assassin's body fell without a sound. The others turned, weapons ready, scanning for the enemy. But there was nothing. Just the night, and something watching them from the dark. The assassins had hunted many species before. They had killed kings, warriors, even entire bloodlines. But this was different. For the first time in their lives, they felt something strange. Not fear, but something close. They were the Empire's most dangerous killers. But tonight, they were not the hunters. They were the prey. The assassins moved quickly, their black suits blending into the night. The mission had changed. One of their own was dead, killed without a sound. That was impossible. No species in the galaxy had ever done this to them. They spread out, scanning the rooftops, the shadows, the corners where death might be hiding. Their helmets enhanced their vision, detecting heat, movement, even heartbeats. But there was nothing. No footsteps. No sign of an enemy. The leader of the squad, a veteran of countless silent wars, raised his hand. Proceed with the mission. The first target was inside the mansion, just beyond the gate. They had to move fast. One assassin leaped forward, crossing the courtyard in seconds. His cloaking shield made him nearly invisible. He reached the mansion's wall, ready to climb. Then he stopped. His body froze. A second later, he collapsed. The others barely saw it. A dark figure, faster than their eyes could follow. A blade flashed in the moonlight, then vanished. The squad leader rushed to the fallen assassin. A single perfect wound was carved into his neck. No struggle, no sound, just death. The enemy was here, and he was watching. The remaining assassins switched to thermal vision. Nothing. They activated sound trackers. Silence. Then, a voice whispered in the wind, "Leave." It was the first time anyone had spoken to them during a mission, and it was not a request. The assassins tightened their grip on their weapons. They had fought monsters, warriors, entire armies. But now, for the first time, they were beginning to understand something. They were not hunting a human. They were being hunted by a ghost. The assassins moved into formation, their instincts sharpened by years of hunting the galaxy's most dangerous targets. But this was different. 2 of their own had fallen, without sound, without struggle. This enemy was not like the others. The squad leader activated his communicator, sending a silent signal to the Empire's warship in orbit. Enemy encountered. Unknown combatant. Engaging now. The Empire's response was swift. Eliminate and proceed. The assassins advanced, spreading out through the darkened streets. Their suits adapted to the environment, bending light, making them nearly invisible. No one had ever escaped them before. Gust of wind stirred the alley. The leader's enhanced vision caught the faintest movement, a shadow shifting above. He barely had time to react. A figure dropped from the rooftops, landing in complete silence. A blade flashed, cutting through the air with deadly precision. The assassin closest to the figure moved to counter. But his weapon was too slow. The blade struck. A perfect kill. The remaining assassins fired their plasma weapons, but the figure was already gone. A blur in the darkness, moving faster than they could track. One by one, the streetlights above them began to go dark. The assassins weren't just fighting an enemy. They were inside a trap. For the first time in their lives, a realization crept into their minds. This wasn't a battle. It was a hunt. And they were not the hunters. They were the prey. The assassins moved with caution now. Their confidence was gone, replaced by something alien to them. Uncertainty. Who was this enemy? How was he faster than them? They scanned every rooftop, every alley, every shadow. Their enhanced vision found nothing. The city had gone silent. No wind, no sound, as if the night itself was watching. Then, a sharp whistle cut through the air. One assassin turned toward the sound. Too late. A blur of motion. A flash of silver. A thin red line appeared across his throat. He gasped, reaching for his wound, but his body collapsed before he could understand what had happened. The squad leader clenched his fists. 3 dead. 1 unseen enemy. This was not a battle. This was an execution. Regroup, he commanded, his voice calm but tense. The remaining assassins closed ranks, forming a tight circle. Their weapons hummed with deadly energy. No more mistakes. A rustling sound above. A flicker of movement. They fired, plasma bolts cutting through the air. But they hit nothing. Then, a whisper from the shadows. Too slow. The squad leader's blood ran cold. Another assassin screamed. The others turned, only to see his body falling from a rooftop, a throwing star embedded in his visor. 4 dead, 2 left. The last 2 assassins stood back to back now, fear creeping into their minds. They had wiped out civilizations, destroyed armies. But tonight, on this strange, primitive world, they were losing. And somewhere in the darkness, the unseen warrior was waiting. The last 2 assassins stood frozen, their training fighting against the terror creeping into their minds. They were the best killers in the galaxy. How was this happening? The enemy was nowhere and everywhere. Silent, deadly, unstoppable. The squad leader tapped his communicator, his voice sharp. Mission compromised. Send reinforcements. Now, high above Earth, the Empire's warship received the distress call. The Emperor did not hesitate. He knew what had to be done. He sent 1 man. A sleek pod broke through the atmosphere, landing in the ruined city streets with a thunderous crash. Smoke billowed as the hatch opened. A tall figure stepped out, his armor gleaming black, his presence radiating death. The General of Shadows, the Empire's most feared warrior. He had ended rebellions single-handedly, assassinated kings in their sleep. He was a living nightmare, trained in every form of combat across the stars. The last 2 assassins bowed their heads in relief. Their savior had arrived. The general scanned the battlefield, his helmet processing the carnage. 1 man had done this. He closed his eyes, listening, feeling the air shift. Then he spoke, his voice like a blade. I know you're watching. High above, on a rooftop hidden in the shadows, the ninja remained still, silent, waiting. For the first time, he had found a worthy opponent. The hunt was over now. It was a duel. The city stood still. No wind, no sound. Just 2 warriors facing each other in the ruins of battle. The General of Shadows stepped forward, his movement slow, deliberate. He was different from the others. Calm, aware, unshaken. His eyes scanned the rooftops, the alleys, the broken streets. Then he smiled. I have hunted warriors across the stars, he said. His voice carried no fear, only certainty. But you are the first to impress me. A shadow flickered. The ninja appeared, dressed in black, his sword resting at his side. He stood like a statue. No wasted movement. No words. Only the stillness of a predator ready to strike. The general unsheathed his plasma blade. The air around it shimmered with heat. A weapon that had slain entire bloodlines. For a moment, nothing happened. The city held its breath. Then, they moved. Steel met plasma in a clash of light and shadow. Sparks erupted as the ninja dodged, his blade dancing in the air. The general struck with inhuman speed, but the ninja was faster. A blur of motion, a near-invisible step, a whisper of steel, and the general's shoulder armor cracked. He staggered back, stunned. No one had ever cut him before. The ninja waited, his breathing steady. The general wiped the blood from his arm. His smile faded. Now, it was real. No tricks. No assassins. Just a fight to the death. The final duel had begun. The battle raged through the ruins, each strike faster than the eye could follow. Sparks flew as steel met plasma, the air thick with the sound of clashing blades. The General of Shadows was relentless, his attacks precise, deadly. He had fought countless wars, slain the strongest warriors across the galaxy. But the ninja was something else. He was untouchable. He moved like a ghost, vanishing and reappearing in an instant. Every attack the general launched was countered, every movement predicted. For the first time in his life, the general was outmatched. He knew it, and so did the ninja. With a single perfect step, the ninja slipped past the general's defenses. His blade flashed. Swift, silent, final. The general gasped, looking down. A deep wound ran across his chest. His plasma blade flickered. His strength faded. He fell to his knees. Impossible, he whispered, his vision darkening. No warrior had ever defeated him. No enemy had ever bested him in battle. And yet, here he was, defeated. The ninja stood over him, silent as ever. Then, with a flick of his wrist, he wiped the blood from his blade and vanished into the night. Above the planet, the Empire's warship received a final transmission. A video played, the bodies of the Empire's best assassins lying motionless in the streets. And then, a single message appeared on the screen. Send more if you dare. But remember, Earth has warriors you cannot see. The Emperor watched in silence. His greatest assassins had fallen. His deadliest warrior was gone. His hand clenched into a fist. For the first time, the mighty galactic empire understood one thing. Earth was not to be underestimated.